everybody. This is Brian David Marshall coming to you from the Tournament Center at Magic Weekend Philadelphia. We are through 5 rounds of Pro Tour Philadelphia. I'm here with former U.S. National Champion Antonino De Rosa.
Hello.
And I'm going to remind you guys of an old saying, nothing beats rock.
Yeah,
right?
The rock either nothing beats it or beats nothing. I'm not really sure, but...
Well, tell us the story. So the format here is modern, in case you guys didn't know. Brand new format. All sorts of crazy stuff going on. You sit down for round 1 of the tournament. Yeah. And what's going on for you?
Round 1, I have a Sakura-Tribe Elder out. It's turn 2. And my hand is Kitchen Finks and Garruk. So 2 other slow, do-nothing cards. And I look to my left, and my opponent, one guy to my left just went Plunge to Darkness for 19 life and killed his opponent on turn 2 with the Glittering Elf. And the guy to my right, on turn 3, just discards an Emrakul to its zombie infestation and Goyr's Venges it into play attacking. So I'm looking at my Sakura-Tribe Elder, my Garruk, and I'm like, this Pro Tour is not going to go well.
5 rounds later, he's undefeated.
5-0.
And, you know, we're new format, talking about an old favorite, the Rock.
Yep.
So is this Rock or is this a Death Cloud deck? What is this deck?
It's kind of like a mix of both. I never played the Rock back in the day. It's always been a deck that's been legal, but I never liked it. For this Pro Tour, I just felt that basically nothing, like I didn't want to play a combo deck because basically I play my combo, you play your combo, we don't do any interaction. Whoever gets like their combo first wins. Here, this is the one deck that I thought like interacts with your opponent. You have some really good cards that you didn't think were good. For instance, like Damnation seems like just only good against creatures, but it's actually really good against a lot of the combo decks. Like the Elf deck can really beat Damnation with a Thoughtseize. Same thing with, like a Cloudpost deck. You know, you can't really beat a Cloudpost deck with a Molten Rain, but if you Thoughtseize and then you Molten Rain, you take away their Sakura-Tribe Elder, their Wall, these cards become really good. But this is the main reason why I wanted to play this deck. This card just interacts with your opponent, like you stop them, whatever, Is
it in English?
It's Italian. Oh, this one's in English, but this one, Ruba Pensieri, which is Thoughtseize. But basically, this deck is basically the Rock. It's got Death Cloud. Sometimes you just randomly win by going Garruk Death Cloud, and you just win the game. But it's mainly just good against creatures. It's okay against combo. Game 1, you have 8 discard spells, so it's not so bad.
These guys right here?
Yeah, so like if you draw 2 of these, you normally have enough to kill them. But it's good against combo after board. So I set it up like to be creature decks at first.
So let's talk about your creatures. You've got the mighty Sakura-Tribe Elder.
Yeah.
Still good even without being able to stack damage?
He's okay. The reason why he's good, so I just want to go back. So John Cuvelier is the guy who built this deck. He's a guy from Florida.
Florida's had some pretty good.
They won the last 2 Pro Tours, yeah. And his big thing, I thought, the reason why I liked this deck was basically he was trying to cast something really powerful like a turn or 2 earlier. Because the normal Rock decks, you rip their hand, but you don't really do anything, and then they just top deck a really good card and you just lose. But here, like with Sakura-Tribe Elder, I had Search for Tomorrow all the way till yesterday. You're able to cast something like Garruk on turn 3, which is kind of fast enough if you Thoughtseize them on turn 1.
So you have the Tribe Elders.
Old
favorite, Eternal Witness.
Eternal Witness is not as good as you would think. It's really cool with Primal Command.
Are we going to just talk about every card in this deck and you're just going to be like, this card's okay, it's not so good, and then somehow the deck's 5-0?
Okay, the good cards are Garruk, very good. Tarmogoyf, probably should have cost 2 green when Wizard made it. Instead of 1 green, 1 colorless. And Thoughtseize. These are really good cards. All the rest of the stuff is just like tools, like you kind of have answers against everything, but you must, like if you draw the wrong half of your deck against certain decks, you're just going to lose.
So there's some games where like this removal package here, we've got...
Yeah, you play against combo and it does nothing.
Right, so you've got Damnation,
Doomblade, Putrefy, Death Cloud, and just does anything. So it's really, you have to have I think the sideboard is the key.
Let me just talk quickly about
Primal Command.
What does Primal Command do for you?
All right,
And say it in Italian.
All right, the Italian word is Ordine Principale. What's really good about this card is it kind of does like, so most of the times against beatdown, you chain Eternal Witnesses, which is really good. Like I just played against a Jund deck and I was at 55 life. So that's really good. But the part where you actually shuffle their deck into their graveyard is actually really good because there's all these decks that care about your graveyard. and you Thoughtseize them, whatever, and then all of a sudden, like I played against Living End, and like he just and I went turn 4, shuffle all your homies back into your deck, and he couldn't really do anything. So this card is like, it does 4 things. How can it be bad?
It's the green cryptic command.
Yeah, like it does 4 things. All of them mediocre, but 2 of them are powerful. Like.
All right, so Kitchen Finks also very good against beatdown.
Yeah, it's good against Zoo. It's kind of neat with this land.
Oran-Rief, the Vastwood.
Yeah, against a Zoo deck, I had that going, and it was really hard for him to get through.
So it persists back into play.
And then you put a
-1/-1 counter.
You put a +1/+1 counter, and you always have a Kitchen Finks. The removal, we had Meshroom Pulse right before the tournament, but I heard there was going to be a lot of Splinter Twin decks, so we changed the Meshroom Pulse for Putrefy because it's instant.
You wanted the instant speed removal.
Yeah, but Pulse might be better. I'm not really sure.
I got to tell you, I'm always excited whenever anyone's playing Treetop Village.
Treetop Village is fun. I think Treetop Village has gotten a lot better with Garruk because it's a 6/6 attacker. It's much better than a 3/3 attacker. So.
Lots of black-green dual lands.
Yeah, I have like a bounce land, which is okay. You kind of have to be careful with that thing because people are playing like Molten Rains and whatnot. Urborg, I didn't play test this card at all. I just put it at the last minute. I'm like, it's got to be better than a Swamp, unless we expect Blood Moon. But yeah, the main deck it's okay. It's solid.
Okay, so main deck aside, let's talk about this sideboard. I mean, I'm always excited. This is, first of all, my favorite artwork of any Magic card in the history of Magic. Okay,
if I had to do it again, I would play 3 Fulminator Mage, 2 Reign of Tears. People are like, Fulminator Mage is strictly better, but it's not. Like, killing a forest or an island off of the Cloud Post deck, because normally they only have 1 of those out, is actually really good. But against, basically, the big plan is, against control and combo, you bring in Dark Confidant and Raven's Crime. And with a lot of lands, this was actually Marco Bolt's idea. With a lot of
Marco Bolt
who built a Pure Steel Paladin deck in Nagoya, and it's actually really good because a lot of these decks, they care about quantity, not like a lot of these combo decks, they care about having a lot of rituals.
Right, they want to get to a critical mass of red rituals, like
exactly.
Red of Flame,
there was a game where I was playing against a Storm deck. I went turn 1 Raven's Crime Mute, turn 2 Dark Confidant, turn 3 I Raven's Crime 3 times.
Right. So because Raven's Crime has Retrace, you guys might not remember it. There's so many cards in this format.
And you get extra land with Dark Confidant. That's like the key. Right. So you can keep doing it. And then he just didn't, like, he was Storm for like 4, because he didn't have enough rituals.
And then we have like 1 more Doomblade, 1 more Damnation.
Basically, I'm not a big fan of these 2 cards, but you have so many bad cards in your main deck against creatures, you kind of have to bring something in. But, like, whatever, if you're trying to build this deck for a local tournament, maybe, these you don't have to play. You can put something else instead.
And then what about the Obstinate Baloth?
These are really good. There's a lot of people who are playing things like Blinding, like a guy just blinding me and I put it into play. It's really good with this card. Like if you go gain 7 life, go get this against a Zoo deck. It's very hard for them to win, or even a mono red deck. So it's sweet. Maybe like you can play 1, but I think 2 is right.
So interestingly, you have all these green creatures, but no Green Sun Zenith.
No.
Did you guys play around with that at all when you were building that?
I thought about it. Actually, I tried a bunch of different things. Like for instance, our sideboard was a lot different. We had Treasure Surge at some point, which is really neat against the Cloud Post decks. You take their big 15/15, you hit them, they kill all their permanents.
Right.
We had Memoricides. We had all kinds of weird stuff. But I think the casting costs, you want to keep your casting costs low because the format is just so fast.
Right. So 5-0.
5-0.
You're heading towards draft.
Yeah.
Can we get a 3rd Pro Tour going to Florida?
Not for me, but hope so. I'm gonna keep my expectations low because I haven't really drafted, and it is the Rock. I could easily go 5 tomorrow. Like the Rock is one of those decks. Who knows?
So this is a deck that's always about like anticipating the metagame, and so the Rock. The shell of this deck might remain the same, but a lot of cards will change once we see the results of this event, and you'll swap things in and out.
Once the metagame is set, this is the perfect deck to play because you can play, what is the best removal suite. Like if you notice, my deck is like, I have 2 of this, 2 of that, 2 of this, 2 of that. Like, why do I play 2 and 2 of these? I have no idea. I'm not sure which one's better. To me, like, sometimes this is better, sometimes this is better. But once you have a metagame, then you can figure out and you just play 4 of one of the other, and your deck becomes, more solid. But what I liked about this deck is basically you don't have an auto loss. You play, you can always win against anything, You don't per se beat anything more than 60%, but,
that's pretty good.
Yeah, you do good against all the other decks.
All right, well, there you have it. This is our first look at an old deck in a new format.
Yeah.
For Antonino De Rosa, this is Brian David Marshall signing off from the tournament center.
Thank you.